Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So guys, in this video we will have our quick discussion on this ongoing escalation taking place between India and Pakistan, that based on the planetary shift and the movement, what shall we look forward to. So guys, in majority of my mundane astrology or any of the political case study, I always ensure to give this like a disclaimer that my forte is of astrology. The political side I just have to give as a presentation to build a foundation for you to understand this discussion. But obviously guys, if it is about India, so I don't have any qualms to say this thing that my heart beat for India and it will be like that till my last breath. So but again, I will just give you the whole time lapse that what happened and what led to this. And if you are a astrology enthusiast and if you have interest in observing the global events and all, so this case study will prove out to be very informational for you. So guys, okay, like let me take you little bit before the time of this incident which happened. So when Donald Trump was announcing all that tariff on all the countries, and especially very high tariff on like China, so like obviously it was a good news for India, because now if China is going to be getting into issue with the America, so that means US will look forward to increasing their trade with other allied countries and all. And whenever any of the press address happens in White House, Donald Trump has always remained very transparent, very vocal about his good relation with Modi. Now comes the question that we all were like very much looking forward to it. Immediate after that, in next few days, this event happened that in Pakistan, the army chief Asif Munir, so he was addressing to all the immigrants who have migrated out of the Pakistan, and they were visiting there in the Pakistan, and it came very strange that the army chief is like giving those kind of provocative kind of statement that like Hindus and Muslim are two different people and it's a two-state nation and all. So that actually got covered by majority of the creators and the journalists and all, and that came as a surprise. Now guys, because we all know that it is all out there in the open that Pakistan is right now battling with majority of the internal issue, and whenever they are like amidst all of these things, they need a distraction to distract the attention of the masses of the public. The way when this news got covered, and if I were to give you a context from the India, like if you visit any of the prime touristy locations in India, you will see that all those people who are like asking for money and begging for money, the only strategy which they use is to keep on bothering you till the point that when you will be bothered and say, okay, take the money from me and please stop bothering me. So we were anticipating that, but just because in Jammu and Kashmir, like in Kashmir where this incident happened in Pahalgam, it has been there has been peace over there from the past couple of years, and with the consistent diligent efforts put forth by the Narendra Modi administration. So now what happens, like US Vice President J.D. Vance, his sought after visit to India took place. The whole India was like very much looking forward to it, and right amidst that trip in the Pahalgam area, infiltrators like terrorists came. And this time, generally in this region, even in the history of that region, whenever there have been any of the terrorist activity which have happened, they have generally targeted the military professional. But this happened for the very first time where they targeted the civilians. So they targeted the civilians. 26 to 27 is the number which has been doing the rounds in the news platform. And the way they killed them was very brutal, very heinous in nature. Like they checked whether are you Hindu or Muslim. They asked them to recite some kalma, they call it, and they even asked the male to strip their clothes to authenticate their claim of whether they are Muslim or they are Hindu, and then they shot them in front of their wives, in front of their children. So tourists who have nothing to do with that. So after that, there has been uproar in the whole country. Now immediate, like Narendra Modi ji, he was in the Saudi Arabia in his visit, and he has to cut short his visit. He has to come back. Now after that, certain actions which India has taken, amongst those action is that they have like they have not terminated, they have suspended the Indus Treaty. Now this river which like Pakistani people, like almost 240 million people are dependent on the water of this river for their water supply needs, for the agriculture, for the hydro projects and all. So India control it because they are on the height, and they have come up with this solution to show their like protest for this heinous act which got happened to our Indian citizens, that they are suspending this treaty. And amongst other things, like India is preparing now, that they have even called the ambassador from various countries, and they have briefed them about whatever is happening right now to get that global consensus or support in our favor, that we have been a victim in this situation. So all of that happening, Pakistan is also retaliating. Now amidst all of that, guys, now comes the question that now we will shift to our astrological discussion, that what we can look forward to looking at India's chart. And now, guys, if you have any of the interest in observing the global events, this will actually prove out to be a perfect accurate case study for you. So I'm sure that a lot of the people like who follow these astrology videos, they will be knowing this thing, that India has got a Taurus rising. So now, guys, just looking at this chart, because obviously if a war kind of situation happens and all, so for that we have to give attention to the planet Saturn, which has just shifted signs on March 29th. We have to give attention to Rahu, Ketu, who are scheduled to shift the signs on like May 18th, and Jupiter, which will shift the sign on May 14th when it will enter the Gemini sign. So now, guys, what is happening in the India's chart? First of all, you have to give attention to the chart that India, the independent India, is strongly related and connected with the Taurus Lagna. Now, guys, I always say this thing, that in which situation a planet becomes important for you. So if that planet has got any say over your moon nakshatra, or that planet has got a major say over your ascendant. So in the case of the independent India's chart, like Rahu is right over there in the first house, so that means Rahu has got a major say. Second thing is that the moon nakshatra of India is of the Pushya, so that means Saturn, not only from the ascendant point of view but also from the moon nakshatra point of view as well, the mass consensus or the mass sentiment, both Saturn and Rahu Ketu are important planets for India. Now comes the question that I always say this thing, that Rahu Ketu return tend to remain a very prominent time. Rahu Ketu inversion is the time of the chaos, confusion and conflict, and whenever like Rahu and Ketu from their original placement, they are making a square, so that is generally considered as a prominent time of laying foundation to something. So if you will see in the chart of the India, so they have Rahu being coming to their 10th house. And like the way, guys, if you will see the whole pattern, India did not announce that okay, they shut down all the airspace and they called back their diplomats and the borders are closed. Everything is happening, but they're also taking the whole world with them on this. And this is what Rahu represents. Rahu represents diplomacy. The best way educated, sophisticated, civilized person can fight back, that you will make your enemies isolated. So that means Rahu is going to be coming to the 10th house. This is going to be giving a diplomatic leverage to India in this given situation. Most important thing, where Saturn is coming. Now Saturn is going to be transiting to the 11th house. Now guys, see, we cannot overlook this fact that in this transit of the Saturn going in the Pisces, and for the Taurus people going in the 11th house, see, understand this thing, because I always complain about this thing, that from so many of the years, like whenever it comes down to showing the map of the India, the map which they shows out there to the world, they have to demarcate it that there is a portion which has been occupied like unethically by the Pakistan as well. We call it as the Pakistan occupied Kashmir. So this could be the time, because lot many people have been saying this thing. The defense, military, army experts have been coming onto the podcast and they have been saying this thing, that it seems to be the right time for India to claim back the Pakistan occupied Kashmir region. Even if you will ask and see the bites of the Kashmiri people, even they are sick and tired of the terrorist activity being conducted in the Pakistan. Even the Pakistani civilians, even they are fed up with that, all the inflation and everything. So everyone wants to get rid of the terrorism. So that means, so coming to the planet Saturn. Saturn's entry in the Pisces in the 11th house. It simply tells about that the old boundaries will break. Saturn in the Pisces, and you will gain with it. You will gain the region because it is happening in the 11th house. So the old will break and new boundaries will stretch. In this case, you can look at it in this way. Second thing is that Jupiter is going to be coming to the second house in the independent India's chart. Now guys, we generally say this thing that you will not see that, like the way the example I gave it to you, that what the beggars in the India do, that they will keep on bothering you, bugging you to invoke some frustration out of you so that you will act rash or you will end up giving money to them. So in this case, if Jupiter is going to be transiting in the second house, so that also tells about that India will maintain its tradition, culture, values, and they will not succumb to the provocation being raised by the Pakistan in this governed situation, in this current situation. And again guys, with this, the transiting Jupiter is also going to be kind of aspecting the natal Jupiter in the 6th house as well. If you have to go in any of the war related situation, what do you need? Now comes the bonanza of this whole discussion. So guys, the bonanza or the main bumper thing which will support or favor India in this situation is that, see, the way we say that if you have to go on a negotiation, what do you need on that day, during that time? See guys, I am an astrologer. More than the yoga, I always advocate the samay. Time is something which makes people win. It's not the yogas. If like Donald Trump and Kamala Harris have reached to that top position, means they both had the good yogas. But who will win eventually? The one who is running the important, potent, powerful samay, the time. That decides everything. So like the way I was saying this thing, that you want to go on a negotiation when Mercury is supporting you. You are in the Mercury Dasha. You want to do some pilgrimage or be in the path of the spiritual practice, austerity or sadhana when you are in the time of the Ketu. What do you need when you are about to go in a war? You need planet Mars to be activated. So in India's case, the Mars Dasha is about to begin very soon. And Mars is the 7th and the 12th Lord, and it is sitting there in the 2nd house. So that means we will fight, and when this Mars is going to be activated in the Dasha, so during that time Jupiter is going to be transiting over it. So yes guys, it looks like to be everything is getting perfectly aligned, and this could be the time for India in a strategic way, in a diplomatic way, capture the territories which rightfully belongs to India. And again guys, see, the thing is, you know, this is what my personality is and why I took so many days in order to make a video or make an informational astrological video on this case, because even I knew this thing that okay, if I would have made a video 2 days back or yesterday and all, even I was angry, I was sad, I would have said something, I would have been very rude on the video, which I don't want to. So that is the only reason I wanted to be relaxed, have my mind in a right state, because the kind of bites and videos which are coming in of the survivors, of the victims, it's very heart-wrenching. So yes guys, that's all what I wanted to say. So step by step, everyone is keeping an eye on it, what is going to be happening. But based on my astrological knowledge and the divine insight, all what I can say is that there couldn't be any perfect timing for India to capture their land, which has been like illegally being occupied by the infiltrators. That's all what I can say. So yes guys, for further more updates and notification on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account. Dhanyavad.